Apollo is celebrating its 30th year of hair restoration. In that time, Apollo has led the way in research, development, and the innovation of hair replacement products that have revolutionized the industry. In fact, Apollo owns the patents on dozens of technological advances that have made the effects of hair loss a thing of the past. Since 1972, the whole world has changed, and so have hairstyles. From the long hair of the 70s to the big hair of the 80s and short hair of the 90s, hair has defined the look of our culture. Through this change, one thing has remained constant. Nobody enjoys hair loss. Man, woman, young or old, hair loss remains a stigma that affects how we feel about our personal appearance. That's why after 30 years, Apollo is still number one in the hair restoration industry. Apollo has more than 150 centers worldwide, and they all share one thing in common: personal attention to your needs. Because we at Apollo understand that hair restoration isn't just about technology, it's about giving you the look you want, the service you deserve, and the confidence you need to face the world every day. For Apollo, the year 2000 wasn't just a new millennium, but a new beginning with the introduction of Apollo Cosmetic Reconstruction. When we developed ACR, it was with the understanding that it would evolve with your changing needs. There was a time when hair replacement just needed to look great, but how many times have you wished that your great-looking hair could feel great too? That's where ACR changed the industry. Now, Apollo is proud to announce ACR Evolution, the next generation in hair restoration. They are 5 different men of different ages and different backgrounds, but they all have one thing in common. When they were tired of living with the effects of hair loss, they called Apollo. There was a time when Tony wasn't confident in his appearance, so he went to Apollo and learned he didn't have to live with his hair loss. He had options, and Tony already knew he wanted hair that looked and felt great. Thanks to Apollo Cosmetic Reconstruction, Tony was able to regain his hair and his confidence. When you decide to quit living with hair loss, Apollo will be there.
Thanks to Apollo Cosmetic Reconstruction, I don't have to live with hair loss.
I was in high school when I first started losing my hair. At 17, as you can imagine, it was kind of a big deal for me. Over the next couple years, it's something I just kind of got used to. It wasn't until I was introduced to Apollo that I learned that my hair loss didn't have to define who I was. Thanks, Apollo, for helping me get back my youth.
Cameron wanted great-looking hair, so a friend told him to call Apollo. He wanted hair that felt as good as it looked, so his brother told him to call Apollo. Cameron wanted to look great at a family outing, so his girlfriend told him to call Apollo. You know what Cameron did? He called Apollo, and now his hair looks and feels great. Cameron liked his hair so much that he told his friend Barry about Apollo.
I started losing my hair about 10 years ago, and quite frankly, not a day went by when I didn't hate it. I decided it was time to do something about it. I started off checking into surgical transplants, but I was concerned with having to face the possibility of spending the rest of my life covering up surgical mistakes. That's what led me to Apollo. In a very short period of time, they gave me exactly what I was looking for. It looks great all the time, playing sports, going out with family and friends. It always looks good.
Tony was in his early 20s when he started losing his hair. And by the time he was 25, Tony looked 35. He didn't like that, so he called Apollo. Thanks to Apollo Cosmetic Reconstruction, Tony doesn't look his age. He looks younger.
When my brother saw me, he said, "Gosh, Tony, you look my age." He's 10 years younger than me. That made me feel good. Thanks, Apollo.
Mike wants to look as young as he feels, so when he started to lose his hair, he called Apollo. As a financial consultant, Mike knows the importance of being informed. He knows that Apollo's been around for 30 years and is the leader in the hair replacement industry. Apollo's at the forefront of technological innovations that have revolutionized hair restoration. Mike knows that, and now so do you. Jared has great-looking hair that feels as good as it looks, thanks to Apollo. Does he care that 30 years of experience went into making him look great? Does he even know that Apollo has led the industry in technological innovations? All Jared knows is that he called his Apollo Center and now his hair looks and feels great. Mike likes to take care of himself, and he wants to look as good as he feels. That's why when Mike started losing his hair, he called Apollo. He knew that Apollo had been around for years and that his Apollo Center had the solution he was looking for. Then Mike learned that for 30 years, Apollo has led the industry with innovations that have forever changed hair replacement for the better. For Mike, that means he can have great-looking hair that feels great too. Thanks to Apollo, you don't have to live with hair loss. Apollo is celebrating 30 years of hair restoration, and in that time, the world's leader has revolutionized the industry with the technological advances and innovations that have forever changed hair replacement for the better. Whether you have minimal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, Apollo has the solution for you.